I think that the toys from the 80s just had that nostalgic look and feel compared, in my opinion, to the toys that are coming out now. There's not too many lines out now that, in my opinion, get compared to those. The creativeness and just the imagination that went into making those toys is so much better than nowadays. They seem so maybe generic. You can almost compare it to like architecture, like how the old homes are so much more crafted and customized. Like the toys were similar. It seemed like more heart and feeling went into those toys by their creators. I mean, it was always a marketing issue, but it seems like the toy makers of the past had more heart and soul into what they made, in my opinion, than nowadays. Like you said, they're more just, they're there. There doesn't seem like they took a whole lot of time and care into making them. Just much different now. My name is Mike. Yes, I'm most definitely a collector. I collect various things. I like to collect toys from the 60s through current, but mostly vintage toys are my favorite. Stuff that strikes my eye doesn't have to be necessarily something of a line I'm into. It could be just something I think looks cool, or it can be stuff I can add to my collection that I'm after, a particular item or a grail, or something to complete my collection. But it just doesn't have to be. It can be just something that I think looks cool. I'll pick it up, and that might start me collecting another line or another type of toy just from one item. I'll get one thing, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'll get a couple more, and the next thing you know, I have a whole collection of that particular thing. Necessarily nothing that I'm aiming for. Just whenever I'm out that day hunting, I might see something I like and take it home, and then it starts from there. Star Wars was most definitely the first thing I ever started collecting, like on a large scale. And my dad took me to see Star Wars A New Hope when it first came out, and it was unlike any movie I'd ever seen. I was really into it. I think I saw it 10 times in a row right when it first came out. And I started getting the toys a couple at a time. And, at Christmas time, birthday time, I'd get a few more. I'd start cutting lawns and making my own money because my parents didn't want to buy me any. So I'd make my own money to go buy my own toys. And it just went from there. My aunts, uncles, they all were collectors of some kind. I got into it by just simply keeping my toys that I had gotten when I was a kid. And I guess it just routed from there. My mom used to work for Mattel, probably mid-60s through mid-70s. She was in toy development, and I got to test toys. So they would take us there, give us random toys, test. Test meant playing with them. We'd play with them, and then they would come interview us and write down what we thought of them. Ask us questions about what we would add, what we didn't like, what we liked. And then we got to keep the toy after we were done, which was cool. I remember the Bionic Man, the $6 Million Man. I tested him. We tested some Shogun Warriors. I don't think Masters of the Universe was out at the time I was testing, but we tested a lot of, I believe I tested one of the old big Jims, and some of that. G.I. Joe Micronauts, I believe we tested. But mainly it would be, a lot of them I can't remember exactly. There might be some cars or trucks or different types of toys. Flea markets and swap meets are my number one. I go to garage sales, estate sales. Try not to get that much stuff from eBay. Occasionally I do, but I like the thrill of just finding it in the wild and finding that one piece you've been looking for a long time and getting it from a swap meet or a flea market. Sometimes my wife and I will go to garage sales around the neighborhood, or even we'll travel and go out of city and go farther away, or take a small vacation, and go look for hunts on the way and when we get there as well. I have some toys that are in rougher shape, some that are more mint, but I like to get them semi together and in good condition if I can. But it varies. My collection varies from nicer condition to not so nice. Depends how much I like it, or if I'm really into it, or I'll try to get it and then maybe upgrade later, trade it out or switch it out, or try to build it if it's incomplete, try to find other pieces that make it complete. I try to keep them grouped semi together, but they're randomly placed where they will fit, and as time progresses, I guess I make layers, you might say, or I like to sometimes switch it around if I can, but they're generally grouped together as well as I can, but not always. Some will be just wherever they'll fit sometimes if they're a large toy, or if I find a space for it, I'll just put it where it can go. I'm working with limited space like I'm sure a lot of people are, and I have to deal with that. So this room here is my daughter's old bedroom. She had moved out and I moved all my stuff into it slowly, and now it's basically taken over the whole room. I also have more toys that I can't fit in here that are stored in storage containers in my garage as well, but these are more of my favorite ones and the ones I'm more into. I have a pretty large Star Wars collection. I just can't fit it into this room, so it's stored at this time right now, but someday I'd like to have it all displayed as well, but it would probably fill half this room if I took it all out. So I have it just stored until I can have a spot for it to display it properly. I have some of my dad's old metal trucks from like the 40s and 50s, which I'm not really into collecting like Hot Wheels per se or trucks or cars, but they mean a lot to me because they were my dad's. Favorite grail pieces, I'm still looking for a few vintage Masters of the Universe I don't have to complete my original collection. I think I need about 6 or 7 more figures. They're the more harder ones to acquire, so I have to take my time, and when I come across them, I'll get them. They're in the right shape and the right price. This Hulk here is one of my favorites. And also the Mazinga Shogun was the first one I had when I was a kid. That's not the one I had from my childhood, but I reacquired it later on, but that was the one I loved the most. I remember playing with it when I was a little kid until we broke it, shot it with BB guns, and it didn't make it, but that's the one I reacquired for my collection. Brings back memories from when I was a kid. The Ninja Turtles came out after I was already grown, but my smaller cousins actually had them, and I just thought they were pretty cool. I would, babysit them and play with them with their toys, and that's probably how I got into those. And just the way the look of them, the style, I thought was really good. Sculpting, and the collection was so vast too. There's so many characters, sort of like the Masters of the Universe, and I just was drawn to this, just the way they looked, and I thought it was a really good, inventive line. Yeah, I mostly like to army build Masters of the Universe. The Buzz-Offs are one of my favorites I like to army build, and I'd have to say my favorite army builders are Man-at-Arms, just because in the cartoon, if you look back, that he was mass-produced, not just Man-at-Arms the character, but they had the turning guards, which all had the same look. And eventually someday I want to make a large display, and I want to put them all out and make my own armies with them, and you need a lot of them to make it look realistic, I think. My wife, at first I have to say my wife wasn't really too happy about it. And then after a while, she actually started going to shows with me and getting more into it. And now she collects certain toys now too herself, even. Not like I do, but she got into it, and then she supports me. And my kids, they like it. They get a kick out of it. My wife, she has an eBay store, but she sells more fashion type stuff. I'm more into selling antiques and vintage toys. And I would like to sell not only to support my collecting, but to put some more toys out there into the market for other collectors, and share with them. Maybe I'll have a piece they need, and it makes me happy when they find something they're really into and they buy it from me. And it's not just for the money. I do it just because I enjoy it. It's just fun. We have fun when we go to the swap meet and sell. Yeah, we'll be selling to Pasadena City College the first Sunday of each month. and we're going to start this coming month in April. Will be our first month there. I was happy to hear about when you wanted to come interview me so other people can share my enjoyment and see what I'm into. I'm really proud of it. I've been doing it for a long time, and no one's really, besides my friends and family, no one's been able to really see it. You're like the first person that's came to share it with other people, so that's sort of new, and I like that. I think it'll be cool.